Tutorial for NoCodeHQ, and today's tutorial is going to be a quick one. I'm going to show you how to build an Alexa/Google skill using Voiceflow, and I'm going to teach you how to basically import external data from an API into your Voiceflow skill. And in this case, we're going to create a numbers facts skill. So basically, the user will be asked for which number he would like to learn about a fact about a number, and we will save that number included in our API requests as in triggering our endpoint, and we'll then give the user a fact about this number. And we're going to use the numbers API for this, which is a free API, and it's quite a great and simple API, and you won't need any API key. So you want to go to Voiceflow, create an account, and log in. Once you did that, you want to click on create a new project. Give your project a name. I'm just going to call it numbers API. Numbers facts. Number facts, something like this. And let's click on create a project. And we will be brought into our editor. As always, we have this first initials home block here. And the first thing we want to actually do, we want to go to variables and want to just create a new variable, which is going to be number, okay? And this is the number variable is going to be used to save the number that the user is saying, or the number for which the user wants to get a fact to this variable. And yeah, let's go to blocks actually and add a speak block. So I'm just going to add a block here, connect that, and in this block, Alexa should say, welcome to the numbers facts skill. You can get a fact for any number you can think of. For which number do you want to get a fact? Okay, and we're now going to use a capture, so let's just drag that here. Connect this as a next step. We want to capture whatever the user answers to this question. We want to say the input type is going to be of type number. That's quite easy. And we want to capture that to our variable number. Okay, awesome. After we captured whatever the user wants to, or for which number the user wants to get a fact, we want to then make a request to our API endpoint. So choose the integration. Okay, connect that. And let's use a custom API. And if we go to numbers API, it's quite simple. The endpoint is just simply http numbersapi.com / the number for which you want to get the data. And I'm just going to add a question mark JSON at the end, just so our data is provided in a JSON format. So we're just going to provide the JSON parameter at the end. So we can also add a default, so whenever we don't have any result for the number that is asked, we can just add a default. So I just did it already. For example, for a number 23, we get the fact 23 is the number of minutes, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to just insert this API structure here. We want to do a GET request. We want to get data, okay, to the endpoint numbersapi.com / whatever the number, so curly brackets number, okay, what the user has inputted, question mark JSON, okay, because it should be a JSON format. And we can also add the parameter, which, as you might remember, if we go back again, it was default. And let's say the default, if there's no fact for this number, there is no fact for this number. I think we have to add a plus next to all of these. Okay, great. We don't need any headers, so let's just test the request quickly. And let's send the number as an example. So let's say 23. And as you can see, we get a nice response here with just the text, which is the number of times Julius Caesar was stabbed. Okay. And for the number 23, the type was trivia. So let's actually just try it again with a number we don't have a result for. So let's test the request with a really high number where I guess we don't have a result. Okay, let's send the request. And this time we get there is no fact for this number, which is our default reply. So what you want to do, we want to basically map whatever the text is to our variable. So if we go just back again, let's enter a number again. We want to map the response dot text to our joke, to our fact basically. So we also actually have to create a new variable. I'm just going to call it fact, okay? And let's map that. So let's map to the fact variable our response dot text, and let's just check that again. So if we once again enter a number, we want to map the response dot text value to our fact variable. Okay, great. So let's now add another speak block. Okay, I'm just going to drag that here, and we're going to connect the success basically point to the speak block, and the speak block should say, okay, comma, here is an interesting fact for the number, whatever the number is, and then she should say whatever the fact is. So fact, and that's basically it. Let's afterwards just add another choice, okay? And the user can either say yes, okay? And what I want to do, I want to add a speak block again. And after this is set, Alexa should ask, do you want to hear another fact? Okay, and let's connect that. If the user replies yes, which is the one, we want to link back. So let's zoom out a bit. We want to link back to our initial step here. So to this step, okay. Otherwise, at else, we're just going to end the skill. So let's test that out. I'm just going to go on publish. No, and test actually, and let's start the test.
Welcome to the numbers facts skill. You can get a fact for any number you can think of. For which number do you want to get a fact?
8.
Okay, here is an interesting fact for the number 8. 8 is the number of furlongs in a mile. Do you want to hear another fact?
Yes.
Welcome to the numbers facts skill. You can get a fact for any number you can think of. For which number do you want to get a fact?
32.
Okay, here is an interesting fact for the number 32. 32 is the number of completed, numbered piano sonatas by Ludwig van Beethoven. Do you want to hear another fact?
No. Okay, so as you can see, our skill worked perfectly fine. So the Alexa skill asks us for an input for a number. It captures that, saves it to a variable, then sends this off to our API, the numbers API. The response is mapped to our facts variable, and Alexa gives us a fact. And as you can see, it's quite easy to integrate external data from APIs. You could use almost any API you want that provides you with some data. And yeah, it's a great way to create a quick skill, and you don't need any coding skills to do that. And of course, you could make even more detailed skills with various choices and basically sections, and make some trivia skills, joke skills, and so on. And that's basically it. I hope you learned something, and I'm going to see you guys for the next tutorial with NoKHQ. Bye.